Hi, welcome to our math lesson. Today we'll be looking at order of operations. The aim of this lesson is to know how to use knowledge of the order of operation. So my learner objective is to use knowledge of the order of operation. Some few vocabulary. Now, operations. In math, there are four basic operations that are used: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Now, when we talk about order of operation, they are just rules that state the sequence in which a multiple operation in an expression should be solved. And to do that, we mostly use what is called board math. Now, board math is an acronym. If you come to the right hand side here, it has a meaning. Now, the B is for brackets, then order in other instances is called indices. Then we have division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And the symbols used for these are in this equation. So these are brackets. And that's the symbol for divide, add. This is an order or an index. And this is multiplication. The only symbol missing is a minus. There are three success criteria that will help you to achieve the objective. First, that you can remember the operations used in math. Second, that you can also remember the rules of the order of operation, that's board math. Third, that you can even use knowledge of the order of operations. Apart from the acronym board math, there are some other rules that I need to let you be aware of. Now, when you have an equation where you have division and multiplication in it, you always work from left to right. Or if you have addition and subtraction in it, always work from left to right. That's a rule added to board math. So, how are we going to solve this? Which one is the correct solution to these? I want you to pause the video and solve this. Is the answer 50 or is the answer 2, and why? We'll look at the answer in the next slide. How did you do? Now, the correct answer is actually A, because in an equation like this, remember the rule, always work from left to right. So starting from here, we do our division first. 40 divided by 4 is 10, and 10 times 5 is 50. You don't work the other way around. How will you solve this second problem? 18 plus 4 times, in brackets, 7 plus 5. So if we use our acronym here, let me just rewrite the problem closer here. First, our step is to use board math. Now, the B stands for brackets. I will look at the question that is given the equation and ask myself, are they brackets? Yes, I've got a brackets here. So I will only solve what is inside the brackets. The rest, I'll write them again. So 18 plus 4, and if I solve what is in the brackets, 7 add 5 is 12. So I don't need to put the brackets anymore, I can remove it. Now I have simplified the brackets, and this is what I have: 18 plus 4 times 12. Now from our acronym, the next thing is divide, but there's no division. And the next is multiplication. So I'm going to do this multiplication side first. 4 times 12, and 4 times 12 is 48. And then I have 18, which I'm dropping down here, plus 48. These are just a step-by-step way to solve the problem. Now, if I add 18 to 48, I must get 66. This is the second problem. In fact, this is what was written earlier on in the third slide, I believe. So let's solve it. 3 plus brackets 18 divided by 6 squared times 2. Let me just rewrite it closer here so that we can talk about it. I know that I'm going to use these steps, the acronym BODMAS. So if I look at the problem that is given to me, the equation, I'll ask myself, does it have brackets? Yes, it does. So I'm going to solve what is inside the brackets first. So let me write my step. This 3, I'm writing it down, and I know is add. Now if I solve what is in the brackets here, 18 divided by 6, I know 18 divided by 6 is 3, so I'll write my 3, but you remember this 2 power of 2 is outside the bracket, so the answer inside here, which is 3, must still be squared. Then I have my times 2. Now my next step is order. In other words, the power is any of the numbers raised to a power an index. And if I look at this one, yes, this 3 is raised to the power 2. So I have to solve this one before I continue. So let me rewrite another step. So I have 3 here plus, now 3 to the power 2 just means 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then I write my times 2. So I have done my brackets, I've done my order. Is there a division? Now if I look at the problem here, there's no division. So I'll move on to multiplication. Is there a multiplication? Yes. I've got 9 times 2. So I have to solve that first. 9 times 2 is 18. And if I rewrite everything, I have my 3 plus then 18. And the last operation remaining is add. So if I add 3 to 18, I should get 21. What I want you to do is to pause the video and do this, solve this equation. We will look at the answer in the next slide. How did you do? Now the equation that was given to us was in brackets 19 minus 7 plus in brackets 8 squared plus 9. So let me just rewrite it closer here so that I can follow my steps. Now using BODMAS, I know B is for brackets. If I look at the question, are there any brackets? Yes. Inside this bracket, I've got 19 minus 7. So I have to solve that first. Okay, 19 minus 7 is 12. And I've got my 8 squared. Then there's nothing to solve there. It's just squaring the 8. So it's 8 squared, then plus 9. Now, after my using the bracket, I'll ask myself, are there any order or power, something raised to the power? Yes. I've got 8 raised to the power 2, so I need to solve that one too. So let me rewrite everything again. My 12 plus, now 8 to the power 2 means 8 times 8, and 8 times 8 is 64. Then plus my 9. So this is now what I have got, and I can now solve and add these. It's all addition, and 12 add 64 add 9, I should get 85. So what I now want you to do is to pause the video and go and do the work. Now in here you will have the first sheet is labeled L3ES1 is for miles, and then the page 3 labeled L3ES2 will be for medium, and the work on page 5 will be for hot. Now if you finish this work and you have time, come and challenge yourself and do this challenge work here. I want you to call a guardian, or if they are busy, a sibling, and look at one of the questions that you really did well at and show them the steps you followed to do it. Just as a reflection, were you able to remember the operations that are used in math? Were you also able to remember the rules of the order of operations, like board math? Were you even able to use the knowledge of the order of operations? If you were able to do all of those, well done. You have achieved the objective.